Hello Rifters, this is Kiwi over on Lathis, and I'm doing a mix of a lot of things, catching up with somebody that used to kick with us on RDD and way back in its beginning days, also featuring something quite extraordinary and just an extraordinary builder by the name of Sheba. Hey Sheba.
How's it going?
It's going good, long time no see.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It has, and I'm on my Traveler, and we're in an Age of Infinity, and it's called Battlefield Dojo. I'm so excited.
Yes, this one was fun to build.
It was. So I keep calling him Sheba. He's also on his character, Azule. He plays both. Are you mainly on Azule these days, or?
Yeah, this is the one I usually raid on, so I've just been building on it lately too.
Nice. Well, it's always going to be Sheba for me. Lead the way, and it looks great already. It's got like this in the... I'm like a warrior on a mission right now. And right off the bat, the reason I wanted to catch up with Shiva more than anything, for a lot of reasons, was his extraordinary use of pawls. He has this thing, he's a toolbox master, has been the whole time I've known him, and he has this thing for them. I wanted everybody to see how extraordinary somebody goes about using one of the most base materials that we have. Wow, looks amazing.
Yep, I've had guildies, like one of my guildies that I always build with, Tony always tells me I can bend metal, so this is my way of showing him I do it. It's just the way that you use poles. I think they're the best building block that you can get. There's so much you can do with them, I don't think people realize.
Right? And is this like... Oh, we're jumping to the side.
Just decoration. The goal of this one is the dojo here. I built a dojo in another dimension, and I really liked it, and I wanted to put one like just having the dojo.
Nice. So you're getting right
So
into this Japanese dojo field training, working hard and running around so you can run across poles, come in, jewel somebody, get the whole thing going on. Is that right?
yeah, that's about right. Ideally, this is going to be for one of the upcoming PvP dimensions, and maybe just like a one-on-one or two versus two, something small, fun place to fight.
Nice.
So
Now,
it's not really decorated inside. I left it kind of plain just for that. So
right, there's so much going on too. So we're going to be looking at this one, and we're going to be looking at a couple of others. Is there more to see in this one, or?
no, that's about it. Actually, it's pretty small and kept it pretty basic. I got a couple pools down here, but just looking for something to fill the space, to be honest.
Look at all that intricate work. You've used max capacity. I've got my UI off, right? So you've used max capacity in here, right?
I've got about 40 more pieces to max.
Wow. And if you can consider that most of this is built from poles and with your stone as well, that's extraordinary. Looking from the roof right down to the bottom and running right out. You could have like a ball if you're into the whole jumping thing as well, which I am. I enjoy jumping puzzles and things like that too. So it's just been, you've got a full-on focus here using that amazing paw.
Well, if you like jumping, you'll like the next step.
Nice. So we're going to pop on over there. So everybody, this is the metal pole. This is mixed in with stone. He's added poles and got some ambience going on there too, leading up to the dojo. I love the inside. It looks fantastic. And I just love the whole feel of the whole place. It's still spacious and simple, yet there's just so much going on.
Even the yin yang, I'm actually going to start using it in all the more Asian themed dimensions I build, so you'll find one somewhere in each one.
Your trademark for that?
Yeah, why not? It sounded like a good idea when I first thought of it.
Alright, we're jumping out and heading over to where we're going next.
The Ninja Academy.
Nice. And here we are, we're over at the Ninja Academy, and there is an extraordinary way to get here. The whole environment's being changed for you to figure out where you are, and I'm at the top because of the way that you need to get here. And here is Sheba again on his Azule, and here we are once more looking at poles in their absolute prime and the thing that he loves, starting with the wood. But I hope you enjoy getting up here. It is a trip. It is test your skills, something chronic, but the trip itself is worthwhile. Hi again, Sheba.
Good.
And wow, look at this. So you've really gone all out on the warrior training. We just had a quick look at the inspiration behind something that really appealed to him, and he took it to a whole different level and changed this room into a whole dimension. This is the one right here, right?
That's right.
Nice.
So this was the first one, and then wanted to build another one using this. And I even took it another step. If you want to see it later on, I'll show you that one too.
Gosh.
But back to this one.
This is so extraordinary hanging out with this guy, because he's got his fingers in a lot of pies. His mind's always racing. He's so supportive of his guildmates, of his shard, and he's like helping a lot of people and also himself along the way, pushing his own limits, bending metal like his friends have said, and himself. But this is awesome. Look at these wood poles. Great use of toolbox.
Yeah, I love toolbox.
You do, you always have. But it's not just that. Toolbox doesn't do any of this for you. You still got to figure out what you got to do, how you want to do it, where you want it to go. There's a whole artistry in using something so technical, don't you think?
Very true. If you don't know what you want to build, there's no point in using toolbox.
Now, I'm probably going to fall, guys, so we may take 2,000 and something, but here we go.
There is, if we want to cheat, a secret path. But
I'll look at the ground while we go and cheat. But you can see here that he's got the whole build-up coming up here. He's changed the whole environment. I'm going to leave that to you guys to figure out where he is. He's got a cheat way of getting in here, so I'm going to look at the ground so you don't know where it is. So jumping around as Kiwi does and falls off and all those awesome dwarf things, we are back on track at the second part of this amazing academy. We've gone from a dojo all by itself, we've come into where there's actually a school of training, and this is the part, this is your temple, did you say, or your dojo?
this part's the temple. Come in, meditate, Yeah, whatever works for the ninja in training.
Right, in the awesome green marble, black marble, so he's done it up here. He's gone from the traditional base poles and all these amazing poles, which I wanted to show everybody, which blew my mind away because I've been here before to this one, catching up with Sheba because I dig hanging out with him. And here, I was just like, yeah, I meditate here. This is awesome. And there's your trademark, the yin and yang. Once again, this is such a beautiful space.
Again, kind of plain, basic. There's just more to come. Take a nice picture and get a good shot of the yin yang.
Right, so there's a simplicity to all of this that I really like, and the vastness, and you get that whole like meditative dojo Asian feeling. You get that whole like coming into space, but it's still so extraordinarily intricate. I love looking up into everything that you make, even since the first time that I made you and saw some of your stuff. Always looking up is a treat with you.
It's kind of interesting. I never thought about it that way, but I always try and make sure to look up and make it pleasing. Especially with the outside too here. Kind of have the pole work at the exterior of the building.
Right, so you've used the snow piles over there really well too. You used the stone in the dojo that you made before. If you look at all the pole work on the roof and stuff like that as well, you look at the poles up here and just your shapes, like look at this. This is where we're heading to next, folks. And that building there is just way cool. There's just nothing more I can say about that. And once again, this is all about poles. Like I wanted to highlight this, and I wanted to highlight someone. Understanding Sheba Azule has built so many more things, and I was like, now let's narrow it down. And just the thought that he does this with the poles is just, it blows my mind. You're amazing.
Thank you. I love it. This one, I think we can shortcut over this way.
Do I want to show people this shortcut, or do I want to turn it off again?
That's okay. We can show them.
Alright, where'd you go? Oh, I see. So I love the way that you built this all to look totally enclosed, and you wouldn't believe it is where it is. I'm not going to tell you guys, as I've said just before. You can come and have a look, but this, it looks like has a stadium appeal to it, you know?
Yeah, it's very kind of closing in a way when you really get up high and kind of look around.
So if you have a conversation with Sheba ever about dimensions and stuff, you will see how his mind races. We have conversations and both of us are the same. After a while it just all turns into this running racetrack. I feel like one of those auctioneers after a while, because we have these extraordinary, and I'll get up there eventually, we have these extraordinary ideas and he makes so many of them happen, you know? And I always wonder how he thinks. Gee, wow. Let me take my finger off this
Jump at it at an angle, yeah?
button while I get up there.
There you go.
So for you, when you're starting to do builds like this, what do you think of? Like, do you set out with a plan, or does it just happen?
Well, originally when I started this, it was to build a dojo. And then I was messing around with some of the poles, and the way that I was making them look, I wanted to go with like an octagon and like kind of a castle thing on the side of the cliff wall. The way that it just evolved, this building that we're standing in now just looked so much cooler. So this is like every ninja academy, whatever, is crooked, so this is a treasure room. There's open safe back here, a little prison. Yeah. Next floor up. Just some random decoration, and then we've got DPS statue, and then an AoE room. So it is actually, actually usable. You can interact with it.
Right, everyone's going to have a different experience from me, because around too many dummies that aren't rendering properly for me. So for everybody else, it might be a different experience. They're definitely here. You just don't see them on my screen.
Yeah, see, they're rendered for me, but I've had that problem a couple times, so sometimes they render in, sometimes it's kind of a bummer that they're not for you. It really looks a lot better when they're here.
Wow, it takes the whole ninja thing to a whole new level, right?
Yeah. And then kind of tucked away around the back corner, we got one of these Wing Chun dummies. This is actually one of my favorite floors in the whole dimension. I just haven't seen one, but I'm sure they're out there somewhere. Shooting range.
Nice. So once more, it's not rendering in the dummies down there for all you shooters, sharpshooters. This will be fun too, to have a shooting range. I haven't seen one myself, but it doesn't mean it's not out there. So it's pretty cool.
Same thing, another dummy back on this side.
It's going to have your own little private areas, pass against others, come in and shoot around. Just the whole training thing has exploded in this dimension. Oh wow, cool. Look at that. I love looking up. This is what I mean. When you're hanging out with Sheba, always look up.
Yeah, especially with using the night sky projector and how much detail the skies are like that, you have to do some kind of open room.
Well, this redwood
Just to show it off,
looks really great with that sky in the background, and even with the carved wood here too. The colors really pop, but they're not overwhelming, you know? They look really stylish.
It blends quite well. You get themed out very nicely for what I was going for.
This outside having a look, so once again you've got 3. This is an academy, so there's more than one. Where did you go? Around the corner?
I'm sitting in my chair.
Oh, look at that roof. I can't stop staring at it. It's just so amazing. There's so much going on here. There's so much to look at. And if you're into like skills and practicing your running, walking, jumping, all of that, and then come in here and do all of this, you'd be here for a while. So that's what's exciting about it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed making this dim. It actually took a couple weeks, but once I had it all down, I had the idea going. It just came out.
Couple of weeks, you hear that, people? A couple of weeks to him is a long time for a dimension.
And nowadays, I can start dropping, 1,000 pieces in 6 hours or so. I love the look with the tree in the center, the lights behind the coming down the temple, and even same on the other side too. When you're looking this way at the red building.
I like the different lighting you've used for each. These goblin lightings, I believe. Is that what they're called? Goblin lightings. It'll come to me afterwards when I'm not recording. But I haven't seen them used as much as you've used them, but it's really nice. The way they hang really suits, especially from a distance as well as close up. But all the colours and everything you've used, from the redwood to the red brabane tree, coming all the way up, you've used a blend of mixtures of how you get up here, and I hope people go for it and give it a try and don't give up, because it is really worth it once you get to the top here. But we're about to jump over to something even more exciting with Pulse. And this was one of the first things I ever seen of Sheba's, and this was what, March, April, that you built what we're about to see next.
Yeah, I think it was something like that. It's because you saw the castle, my original castle first, and then I had built the our guild's dimension is where we're going.
Right, so all of this has been built recently, so this is now, what, we're in September. What we're about to see was built many months ago, and this is when I want you to all get to know Sheba. He's awesome, and pop over to Lathis, so we'll see you again in a second. So as I've said, and I'm probably repeating myself, I'm just so excited running around with Sheba, and we're now currently in Melting Pot's Guild Dimension on Lathis, and we're about to see an original build by Sheba way back those few months ago, and this was so exciting way back then, and still is. He's taken things to a whole new level every single time. He introduced spiders like this. Isn't that cool? And there's your use once again of the pulse, and it's just simplicity at its finest. You do awesome, Sheba.
Thank you. I love doing it. What can I say? This one is the one in the tree to the right. Don't pass it. It's kind of hidden, but it's my favorite one.
Ew, it's the ickiest. So it would be your favorite. I went straight for the blue one because it looks like an angel, and you're like,
Right.
don't miss this one. I don't even want to look at it. It's so creepy.
See, we did some of the frozen tape, Tempest Bay things that throw in there, make them look like they're wrapped in spider web bones.
Nice. It's kind of nice how you did that. That's what the snow piles, yeah?
Yep.
When I say cool.
And there's even some up in the trees. If you look up in the trees, as you always say, look up with my dimension.
Right. I hate spiders, and I'm trying to run through really, really fast. I'm like,
Yeah.
ow. Because they look so awesome. But it's like, yeah, I gotta get out of here. I'm gonna go for the one that looks like the angel and look at it because it's pretty. But look at that. Look at those pole uses. So you could do spiders, you can do tons of things. I remember when you first did these and told me to come in, and I had just made a spider, right? And it was a little small thing. And I came in here and I'm like, whatever. It's like, dude.
I remember that. That's right.
I look so cool. Wow. So big. And like, even before you did these structures, the thing that blew me away the most about you is you built like an MMA stadium built off of like something out of UFC. But that's since come down, and this is where it was. It was originally in here. So Then he built like a massive city all out of stone tiles and stuff on the side of the mountain, and that also wasn't here. So now we have these massive spiders taking over this amazing one structure, and this is what I'd like everybody to see. Once again, highlighting poles. Come in, when you meet Sheba, you look up, and then you'll see the most extraordinary things, and I'm about to look up at the Eiffel Tower. Wow, this still blows my mind.
I loved building this tower. It took, let's say it's been built twice. The first time it got messed up.
I remember when it fell down, or you did something and moved it.
I was moving too many pieces at once and DC'd. And when that happens, half of all your pieces go up and the other half of the pieces go down. So
Look at this. So you got these massive spiders all around this Eiffel Tower, all built out of poles. And I've seen this before. I've been here before. It's all like this, guys. Melting pot, guild dimension, and it still blows my mind. Because I look at it and I'm like, who sits here and figures that all out? Just who? She does.
yeah, it was, like I said, it was frustrating at first, but once the second line went up and started getting built, it just flew together. You should come up to the first floor here. This is always my favorite view. And then also, well, no, that's on the next floor.
Look at those creepy crawly. Yeah, you stay down there. The battle of the scorpion and spider going on. I'm gonna pan out. So look at that. I remember when you built this, you had like the whole design, you were looking at it and you wanted it as close as possible to the original design. And I remember when you were playing with the lattice, we'll call it, that's what you call it, right?
Yep.
Going all the way up it. Yeah, this is like memory lane for me, but it's still so awesome, like right at the forefront.
Every 5 minutes, I swear, I was alt-tabbing out to look at a picture and tabbing back in. Alt-tabbing out, look at the picture.
So for you, it's like you didn't do any blueprints, you didn't do any like drawings, you just went off of the picture?
Yep. The top, I left some of it unfinished in the hopes that some good builder guildie would come along and do some work in it, but no one has, so one of these days I'm going to finish this top floor. It is a guild dimension, so I want it to be, public in that respect.
Yay for DCs, we're in this amazing spider Eiffel Tower. What's it called again, Sheba?
Eiffel Spider? I don't know, I let the guild leader name it, so I don't even know what I would have called it myself, except just Eiffel Tower.
French people for spiders? I don't know. Oh, that's mean. But this is at the top that's a rugby reference, by the way. Just a little bit of bitterness there from an All Black fan. We're at the top of this Eiffel Tower looking down, and look how high up we are. Look how amazing. I've seen the transformation of this from the beginning to the end. As I said right at the beginning of this video, Sheba almost joined us on RDD. He is a chef. He was living in Hawaii. He's back on the mainland now and doing his thing and had a busy time. He's built basketball stadiums, movie theaters, kitchens. He's done the whole everything. I don't think there's anything you haven't really looked at, wanted to look at, tried, built in other people's. He builds in Baluvas. If you're on Lathis and have a look in Baluvas, we've had a look at a constellation, we've had a look at trains being built, lots of different things, and he'll change his mind in an instance, because for him uniqueness once again is the key, and he'll try to push his limits by doing something he hasn't seen, but then he'll try and do something that is iconic too, which is a thread that's running through a lot of amazing builders. But uniqueness and using his favorite things, these poles once again, is something that we look out for. And as I've said a lot of times in this video, you'll probably get sick of it, whenever you're hanging out with Sheba, and I hope you do, look up, because everything is cool. And you know, doing this with just running off of pictures with no design or anything, that just blows my mind, Sheba.
Yeah, it's just a picture. So I looked at a couple. Don't get me wrong. I didn't just look at the first thing I saw. I looked at pictures of like models that people have built, like 3D models and shit like that. Eventually, I just ended up using a real live picture of the Eiffel Tower.
Right, I'm gonna jump, by the way, because
The Yeah,
let's see.
the top's not exactly accurate, but pretty much going up the structure, it's pretty close.
Wow. Well, I'm probably hyping all the way through this because I'm buzzing, catching up with you, and looking at what I've always had a lot of fun looking at because it's what you use that blows my mind more than. So thank you, Sheba, for joining me, and thank you, everybody, for keeping up the good spirits with Dimensions. This is all about polls. I'm Kiwi, and I'm out. Cheers.